Nice.
All right, we are live.
Hey,
Welcome, Luke.
we are.
Well, oil's up.
Happy Friday.
Let's start with that. Let's just jump right into it.
I love where you're. Where's Bread's head at today?
You know,
Oil's up.
focus on the things that you can control.
Oh my gosh, I was just doing my daily prayer on that. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? So, um, real estate. I don't even know what to say. Like it's like everything's going up. Everything's going up. Nothing you can do about it. Focus on the things that you can control, and rest assured that homes have historically sold in every type of environment. What else do you say?
Make more
You know,
money.
make more money. Well, you need to make more money because the
It's not
value
an
of the
option.
dollar can continues to get diluted. So it's like you've got to, you and I have talked about gold often, whereas if we look at the 1980s when interest rates were at double digits, mortgage interest rates were at double digits, I think what we had said is that gold was like around $300 an ounce,
Right.
something around that. Even if it was $500 an ounce, and now it's at $5,000 an ounce. And I mean, the difference between then, we were a much different economy. We were a surplus economy. We didn't have as much debt, but yeah, so be it. So be it. My brother in law is in the car dealership business in Canada, and I've always talked about moving and relocating into the Middle East, into Dubai. Not right now.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly. Um, but I said, "What's your long term play?" He's like, and basically what he had said to me is like, choose your evil. He's like, there is no utopia. There is pros and cons to everything that you do.
Right.
And then as we were talking about that, I just went back to the thought is, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, yeah, everything's going to be about opportunity mixed with
Ooh,
challenges. Bless you.
thank you. Yeah, I had over the years had a bunch of people I know like moved down to like Puerto Rico, for tax, primarily for tax reasons, obviously, and yeah, not many of them stayed long term. I think it was
Really?
I mean a handful of them, but I think most of them all came back, and it was like it's crazy. It's like the minor conveniences that we take for granted, like just ordering
Running
something on
water.
Amazon, running water. No, the more superficial stuff, like I click something and like I didn't get my Amazon, like I was getting annoyed yesterday. I caught myself. Like I ordered something for like today's delivery, like between like 5 and 10, and I'm like, what the fuck? It got here at 9:56. Like, okay, you hit your window, congratulations. But like,
Here's a mindset thing. Like the things that we take for granted today, like didn't even exist, say 100 years ago. For example, I was listening to either reading a book or listening. I don't know where I got this, but just keep in mind that anyone who lived prior to 1920 had never had a hot shower.
I've read that. Yeah, that's I
Now,
saw
when
that.
when
Like,
when you think about that, thinking that
that's insane.
all you had was cold showers back then, I'm like, dude, things aren't that bad.
Like you had to be elite to to have hot water, a warm bath. But yeah, not the hot shower concept.
Yeah,
That's that's insanely great perspective to like put things into. You're like, man, I'm complaining right now in this current moment about the speed of the delivery when I clicked a button on a screen to have something delivered to my house like within hours, and it not sure, but yes, like good gosh, like 100 years ago, a hot shower was like
yeah. You know,
not a
I'm
thing.
I'm listening to the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Have you ever heard of that?
Right. Yep.
So, have you ever read it or listened
I
to
have
it?
not.
So it's
I think I
interesting. It was written after Think and Grow Rich, but it was still like 1937, like 1936, 1937. But it was never published. It was never published. If I remember correctly, Napoleon Hill passed away in like 1970, and his estate still didn't. Like, I can't remember the exact date. In fact, I'll look it up. When was Outwitting the Devil published? June of. Okay, it was written in 1938. Was not published until June of 2011.
wow.
And I'm listening to it, and it's a conversation between Napoleon Hill and the devil. And he starts talking about how does the devil have power over one. And they never released it just because of the controversy. If you think about what religion was like, that society was back like 1938,
Yeah.
pretty much more conservative than what we are now. But he starts talking about mindset. He starts talking about success. He starts talking about what are the things that are holding people back. Talks about the school system. And I got to tell you, if you don't know that it was written in 1938, you could relate everything that he's saying to modern times. But then when you actually when you recognize it was written in 1938, you now recognize that he was such ahead of his
Right.
time, because now we're in 2026. So to me, it's like where we are now was just like then, which means in the next 40 years, 50 years, it's going to be the same thing, just different levels of technology.
Right.
It's
I
wild.
mean, there's uh, there's definitely a cyclical nature to just to everything. I mean, I think we all go through this like rotating pattern of like boom bust society. um, so no, do things change obviously, but like we're constantly just repeating the same stuff,
Yeah.
generation after generation.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. I would,
human
it's
nature.
an easy read. It's not long, not compared to like the Elon Musk biography. Like that was like 27 hours or something like that. This
Really.
is this like me might be 5 hours, and I just listen to segments in the morning when I'm on my ruck. Um, but I think it's definitely worth the listen for sure. Prior to that, I listened to David Goggins' "Can't Hurt Me." Dude, that dude had a life.
Dude, that
Like
was
I feel like I'm a pretty disciplined person. That dude puts me to shame. Like I'm like I need to up my game.
he puts 99.999% of people
Yeah, he's a unique
to
bird.
shame. He's a
Dude, he went
uh,
through in a calendar year, he went through Navy SEAL buds 3 times. He went in, got injured, got discharged. Went in, got injured, got sent out. Went in for the third time, got injured, but he was able to. His injuries, he wasn't able to suck up because it actually took him off the field. But this last go around, he like made it. And you listen to his story. I don't think I had a bad enough childhood to be a really when I look at these like tier one
Not
operators, these people who are just like intense and
yeah,
just they typically come from a really poor childhood, maybe an
right.
abusive childhood. I didn't have that.
Some
So
sort of trauma or
yeah,
yeah, like
that just makes
it
them numb. Like their level of pain is and
right.
their level of pain and emotional stress is just a different level than anyone
Yeah,
else.
right. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's probably I would argue to say that that is probably the best audiobook I've ever consumed.
Wow.
Um, I'm wondering if like I mean the fact that he narrated it himself too, like I wonder how much of that the component of that of his like ability to like emphasize things and just the tone of his voice and stuff like um yeah I really appreciated that book for sure.
Speaking of books, I just ordered the Alex Hormozy set of three books.
Nice.
So it showed up in my Facebook feed, and he's selling all three of them for like $15, $16. So when you click on it, it says $27. I'm like, what? Like, how does that work? And so I went to acquisition.com, and it still had the offer for um, for 15 bucks. So I ordered them, and they want
Nice.
to upsell you for the audiobook, but with those books, I want to treat it as a textbook and
Yeah.
just sit down, read it, take notes, and just really kind of study it.
Yeah.
And it's a series of books. You're the one that pulled me in on that first one of his books. I think it's Million Dollar,
I think you did
whatever that.
offers first.
I think it was Offers.
Offers leads, yeah.
Yeah.
um so I think like a part of his initial like launch there too, like he had basically he gave people the option of like ordering like as many books as they wanted for access, certain levels of access to things with his initial launch offer. So I think like most of the stuff that they're giving away at that like sending at that discounted price were already like prepaid books by other people that they just said like, okay, you keep them and then ship them out to people.
Yeah. That's what he said that. He has like 3 point
Yeah,
something million books or something like that.
yeah,
And so my guess is that these are free plus shipping because it's like $15 in shipping. I don't know where the $26 one came up. Like his Facebook one, it promotes the $16 ad, goes to 26. And I have no problem with it. I think there's value into
yeah.
it, but I'm just like, well, that's kind of a bait
I'm
and
sh-
switch. That's like 2x.
I'm sure I'm sure it's just a testing thing that they're doing and you
Seeing
know
if they
throw up how what here's you know uh 37 different variations of this ad copy and landing page and just collecting data and seeing what's what.
yeah, yeah. Um what was I was going to talk to you about getting into, the kind of tech stuff. Um AI is rapidly approaching. Elon Musk just recently just said that he's going to combine the Optimus uh, AI to what was it? The Optimus chip that's also the same Tesla chip, and then tie that into XAI. So
Yeah,
essentially, having OpenClaw ran by X, saying that anything that's digital output, it's going to be able to run. Did you see that?
I did not see that, but I can see that that would be a logical next step for him in his plot for complete domination.
Dude, it's going to
um
be Star Trek. It's full on. You're going to walk in and say, "Good morning, house," and it's going to talk to you, and you're going to be
yeah,
able to have a convert. It's going to be Jarvis, not
right,
Star Trek. It's going to be legitimately Jarvis. That anything
yeah,
that can happen from a computer, which is pretty much running everything,
yeah.
and I think that's really cool.
I had a and I'm not I had a really genuine conversation with my oldest, who's 11 now, about the the value of information and the current state of school education, and the fact that that like we may need to like seriously reconsider school as we know it, and like his trajectory of where he's currently going, and how he's and it was like the his it was awesome. It was a gorgeous conversation, like considering he's like 11 and like gets it. Like he was bringing up stuff where it was like he's like, yeah, with AI, like there's no like what's the point of college, like, or like continued like the value of information and knowledge, zero.
There was a section. Do you ever watch The Tulsa King?
I did not.
Okay, so
Not a
Sylvester
big
Stallone's
cheesesteak guy.
character talks about um, talks about college and says that the only purpose of college is that you show up. It shows an employer that you showed up every day, reasonably
Right.
showed up, did reasonably well, and you committed to something for long term. Look, I'm all for higher education, but once you get past a like somebody who gets a degree for underwater basket weaving and spent like $150,000, when the market rate for that is like $7.50 an hour, that is just a poor investment, just across the board.
You're
I
telling
think with yeah,
I was gonna
yeah,
say,
it's
you're telling me I'm gonna go. I can't go to school for gender studies and not know what a male and a female is,
yeah,
and then expect an employer to have confidence in my reasoning ability.
yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely. And I think what's interesting is that AI is eliminating these entry level jobs as engineers, as attorneys. Elon Musk says the Optimus robot, when it comes out, is going to be the most highly skilled surgeon on
Yeah.
planet Earth. So there's a lot of different things that are being eliminated, good, bad, or indifferent. Who knows what that's going to look like? But assuming that it's just a little bit correct, like, what do? You need to focus on sales. You need to focus on a industry that is required to have human trust. Like now, what is that going to look like 50 years from now? Because now you're going to have AI with personalities, and these kids are being raised. They're being
Right.
raised building these relationships of trust. But for the here and now, where somebody is 60 some odd years old, the average buyer or seller, they're still somewhat skeptical about AI. They don't necessarily know how to use it, especially from a consumer standpoint. And like, you got to go with the wind, man. You've just got to adjust with it. So I think we're in a good place. I know that you're gonna be buying a fleet of robo taxis. I can just see you doing that. You did it with,
Yeah.
what was it, Redbox? You bought all those Redbox ones, and then that was ahead of the time. You did really really well with that. And now robo taxis coming up. I can see you doing that. You've probably already
No,
done the math, haven't you?
I've done the math, but you know what pencils out even better right now,
What?
and it is uh, a good old Honda Civic rented out to a Door Dasher for 400 bucks a week that it paid 5 grand for.
Okay, well that's out of the box thinking. I didn't even think about that one. So, are you doing that?
In small sample sizes.
We got a deep dive on that. How long have you been doing that for?
Not long. Yeah, it's
Oh,
been a
okay.
few months.
All right. I definitely want to see the long term effect. I'm going to put on the calendar to
Yeah,
come back and talk to you after you got like 6 months of data on that.
right.
Because my initial thought is what kind of default rate are these
Yeah.
are you running it like a mall, how it has rent plus a percentage of of
No,
sales?
just flat rate.
That's a
It's like
good idea.
just
How'd
a
you
weekly lease.
how did you find the person to drive it?
Craigslist or Marketplace on Facebook.
You're like, hey, rent this car out for Door Dashers,
Yeah.
perfect. And they just
Yeah.
keep it 24/7.
Yeah. Just
How did you
just
come up with that idea?
brought a car, posted it. I just ideas. I was like, I started shopping around for like an old Toyota truck, for me personally. And I was like, man, look at. I was like, one of the best cars I ever had. Like efficiency was a Honda Civic. I think it was a Honda Civic. Anyway, I was like, I paid next to nothing for that thing, and it ran like a champ forever. And I'm like, how do I deploy? Like, I'm sitting on too much cash. Like, how do I deploy that? Like, what are some things that I could do? I was like, I'll take a flyer on this. Seems like this would work out.
Dude, that
Like,
is
it's in.
so cool. That is so you too. Just you've always had this knack to just think outside of the box and like literally red box, thinking out of
But
the box.
it started from the Robo Taxi. Like,
Oh,
working
you
backwards.
used Elon Musk's first principle thinking.
Yeah, I was like, well, I could wait for that, or I could do something now with that and like start implementing some like infrastructure around. I mean,
Dude,
obviously the
that's
infrastructure
nuts.
will be pre-built for that, but like maybe there's more margin in a Honda Civic and weekly lease to DoorDasher.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Well, we didn't really get into whole lot of tech on this call. I think we do need to
We're
talk
all over
about
the
that
place.
more. Do you have your OpenClaw up and running?
Uh, yes and no. I have a very, very minimal use case of things. I purchased a couple like uh course kind of like done for you setup type stuff where it was like, hey, walk me through like your specific use case, just a really low ticket type thing. Um just to be able to like peel back behind the scenes. So right now I have like a single task that my team was doing that it's doing this, and it's saving probably 3-4 hours a day of like virtual assistant labor, which isn't much, but at the same time it's just like a
What does that
sign.
annualize though? 3 4 hours. Let's go on the high end. Four. Let's go on the low end. 3 hours. What? $15 a day times 30. That's
Right.
$45 a day. I mean, that's $600 a month or $600 a
Yeah,
year.
I mean it's definitely not nothing, that's for sure. More than anything, the elimination of the human error,
Mm. Do
right?
you feel that based on your limited knowledge of what you have on it, because your knowledge is always seems to be a step or two ahead of me, do you feel that this could be a content creator where you can map out it could like
Oh
this
yeah, for
video,
sure.
you can take
Yeah,
it can transcribe it, take the transcription, create the blog, post the blog, create the thumbnail
yeah,
image, it can do all
yeah,
of that.
100%. Yeah,
See, for me, that's worth it right there for me, because I think I either need to hire a virtual assistant, and I've been saying that for a long time, and I'm not traveling for the next 4 or 5 weeks, so I actually have more bandwidth now. Or B, I can just skip that whole process and go straight into OpenClaw, demoing it, knowing that this is the baseline of where we're at. And
yeah,
6 months from now, we're going to be there
right,
are going to be competitors. There's going to be other things to the market that'll make it easier. But I think the only reason why I can do what I can do is one, because my dad was a printer and I learned graphic design and I learned website design and I learned HTML. And you add 30 years on top of that, duct taping things together, it makes things a lot easier. So I'm looking at OpenClaw as, let's start now, let's figure out the learning curve
yeah,
while it's the beginning, because as you scale, your knowledge is going to
right.
scale with it.
Yeah, it'll be it'll only significantly. I was just listening to an interview, and I don't remember who it was. It was the open clawed dude, but he was like, the time span when he's gone going to where it's at now. But he was like, next up is security for him, like to focus on, and then moving to user ease of user or ease of use. Um, he's like, I want it to be to a point where I could give it to my mom to do, and so that
So it's
that's
like turn on a
the
switch and it's working.
that's a short roadmap. Focus on security. He's like it's purposely hard right now because to prevent access to the masses, like for like basically a security bottleneck. He's like it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
ready to be opened
Which
up.
is why you have to run it on a closed,
Right.
ideally a closed
Yep.
unit.
So yeah, for you with your experience, your technical capacity, all that stuff, I think it would behoove you to skip the virtual assistant and go straight to OpenClaw. For that, the time, effort, and energy that you'd put into like training, systematizing, mapping out, investing in all that could just as easily put into be to setting, putting processes in place, and then you never have to run the risk of having to replace that person because they're not showing up or doing whatever.
Do you have? Do you feel that you have the knowledge to set up a what I just described as a content creator and poster?
Um, Not out of the, I mean, me personally, no, but that's the beauty of a lot of this is it's just it's
Yeah,
circular in nature. You're like, how do I do this? Okay.
yeah. Once you
How do I
figure
do
out one
this?
step, it just goes into the next one.
And then you're like, and then you can tell it to do, figure out stuff too. Like it's
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, well, how do I get it to learn the XYZ skill? Okay, and go get that skill so you know how to do that thing.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm
so
gonna do it, man. I mean, I got to order a new monitor because I got to put my station up. I think I told you I have a Mac Mini M1 with 8 gigs of memory that I wiped. I was gonna sell it on eBay, but I've been trying to. I was going to do that in the last 2 years. I just never did it. So I have this unit
hey,
that can be dedicated to it,
yeah,
M1 silicon chip, and I think that'd be a good one. Just to that's it. That's all it's gonna run.
yeah. No, you're
So
you're you're good. Just post it up and
yeah, I have to invest a few $100 into, I don't, I have a, actually, I think I have a confirmed wide that I'll probably put up and just have a station. All right, I'll let you know. So we're at time. Um, I'm gonna work on that this weekend and next week. So by the time we come back around, we'll be able to chat more
cool.
about it. I might be reaching out to you
Awesome.
before then just for some guidance.
YouTube's probably your best.
Always,
The, I mean,
always.
I could voice note you, but at the end of the day,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. You'll be able to actually go to
it's a,
YouTube and then send me the link.
yeah. But I can't let me
Yeah,
find this here. This might help answer your
yeah.
question.
All right, brother.
Awesome, man.
Enjoy your weekend. Talk
Appreciate
later.
you. You too.
Bye.